Okay. I could stand to use a break from editing my other videos. Think I'll hop on Twitter and see if there are any updates regarding Godzilla King of the Monsters. Holy crap. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Omni viewer, and I really wasn't expecting this at all. So, this picture was tweeted by Michael Dougherty, director of Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019, labeled simply as Day 41. That is the Oxygen Destroyer. No ambiguity here, that is the Oxygen Destroyer. Literally the only thing which can kill Godzilla. And this is being tweeted in regards to the upcoming Legendary film. There are so many questions to be raised from this. Now, just to be clear, it's quite possible this means nothing at all. This could just be Michael Dougherty messing with us somehow. Or it's possible he's just drawing attention to something which in the film will be nothing more than an Easter egg, kind of like the Infinity Gauntlet was in the first Thor movie. And yet, what if there's more to it than that? I mean, after all, this is the Oxygen Destroyer we're talking about. There's got to be a reason they're bringing it in, right? Allow me to do a little bit of speculating. First of all, we know it's not going to kill Godzilla. There are two reasons for this. First of all, we already know there's going to be a sequel, Godzilla vs. Kong. Second, part of the agreement between Legendary and Toho is that Godzilla can't die in these movies. At least, that's what sites like GodzillaMovies.com say. But still, this is the Oxygen Destroyer we're talking about. And if, I say if, it's going to play a significant role in the film, what will that role be? I highly doubt it's going to be used to kill any monsters, if I'm perfectly honest. One of the common themes running throughout the two MonsterVerse movies thus far is how mankind can't do anything against the monsters. In fact, every time a human character does try to stop the monsters, they either wind up failing miserably or just making things worse. It's kind of an interesting counterpoint to the insanely humanist vision presented in things like the Michael Bay Transformers movies. But I'm going to go more into detail on that in a better video than this. The point is, thus far in the MonsterVerse, humans cannot do anything to the monsters. And yet here we are with a device that, canonically, can do something to the monsters. Now there are a couple of possibilities that come to mind. First and foremost, never forget that we have our own Dr. Serizawa in this film. Now true, this character is Ishiro Serizawa, not Daisuke Serizawa from the original film. But I actually have kind of a crazy fan theory regarding that. When taken on its own merits, Godzilla 2014 kind of sort of implies that something like the original 1954 film might have happened in this continuity. Kind of like how Kong Skull Island kind of sort of implies something like the original Kong movie or book took place in the continuity as well. It's not exactly those original films, but versions of them. So part of me wonders if the Oxygen Destroyer might be part of Dr. Ishiro Serizawa's family legacy. That perhaps the Dr. Serizawa of the original film invented this device after witnessing Godzilla, but in this continuity it was never used. And Ishiro decided to keep it a secret because he knew deep down that using it against Godzilla was a bad idea. Now granted, this is just a fan theory of mine, and I realize it doesn't line up with Godzilla Awakening, even though I don't think Godzilla Awakening is canon anyway, but personally, I would freak out if that turned out to be true. However, there's another possibility which I think is a bit more likely. Now, we know for a fact that Monarch is not against killing monsters. Even though it's a scientific organization and it has some rather interesting views regarding the monsters they study, it is ultimately not above killing them. Remember, there was a system set up to kill the male Muto at the power plant, should it ever become a hazard. It didn't work, but it was still there. So, if the oxygen destroyer isn't a legacy device in this film, maybe it's a new device invented for a worst-case scenario. Perhaps one of the central conflicts in this film will be a split in Monarch between those who believe the oxygen destroyer should be used to, well, destroy all monsters, and those who believe that nature just needs to play its course as it always has, even as the monsters destroy everything in their path. That could certainly make for an interesting human conflict in this film. But again though, we don't know with 100% certainty if this is actually going to be significant. I assume it is because, it's the oxygen destroyer. But at the same time, again, people were assuming the Infinity Gauntlet would be a much bigger part of the original Thor movie than it actually wound up being. So maybe it will be just an Easter egg, but I'm holding out hope that there's more to it. Heck, for all we know, this could be the post-credits scene that leads us into Godzilla vs. Kong. What do you guys think? Do you believe the oxygen destroyer will be a significant part of the movie, or just an Easter egg? Do you think it will be a part of the movie at all, or is Michael Dougherty just teasing us? If it does wind up being significant, which of the two scenarios I propose do you think are more likely to happen? Or do you think there's another option which I didn't think of? Feel free to leave your thoughts below. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer, signing off.